Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. We're here today because we have a couple of questions to answer, and first I wanted to say, I don't give out names or usernames or anything, but I just wanted to say to the fan who is just really doing an excellent job right now keeping these discussions going and just really been providing me with these topics of interest here. I just wanted to say thank you so much, and it's just incredibly good to have you in, and thank you for making this a bit more interactive here, because that honestly is what I want. And I think it's just going to be a good thing for this channel, just to hear more input from Giants fans. So let's get started with the questions. The first one is, if Jordan Hicks does not work out as a starter, will he be the setup man for Camilo Doval? And I think the first thing that would be a good thing to realize, as optimistic as we can be about the potential he might have on the mound, we need to squarely face the real possibility that he won't work out as a starter, because it could happen, it could not. After all, he has been a reliever for the vast majority of his career. So it is important to just honestly acknowledge that it is a possibility that Jordan Hicks will not play out as a starter, and that the attempt to stretch him into one is just not going to be successful. That is a possibility. And what that would mean, obviously, is that the Giants would just use him as a reliever the way he's been used throughout his career. And if he were to actually join the bullpen, then he would not be that type of swingman, mop-up, long relief guy. I mean, traditionally, I think it's fair to say over the past several decades, that was kind of just the route that failed starters went as they tried to work their way back into a starting role. They'd have to basically be inning eaters and take over in games where the starter couldn't go long, and just kind of mop up by pitching multiple innings. And that's the way we still see it in our day with a lot of starting pitchers who they lose their spot in the rotation, or they're maybe they come up and they're actually fighting for a spot in the rotation. Like, that's their role. It's kind of, they have the stamina that's a little bit, at least a little bit more similar to what a starter's got than just the majority of the members of a bullpen. Like, they have to pitch on days when innings need to be mopped up. But Jordan Hicks is not going to be that long man, at least not in a mop-up, inning eater sense. He would be here to have the duties of an elite reliever if that was his actual role. And he will either start, or he will be a late inning reliever with just no middle ground. That's the way that it's going to go with Jordan Hicks. If he can't be developed into a starter, then he will be a late inning reliever. The Giants, one way or another will use him to actually get meaningful outs in critical situations. And that's what he's here for. And we understand there has been a departure from kind of the traditional norm here, and it's kind of, I would say that it's a bit adventurous on the part of the Giants, but I mean, not to the point where they don't like know that they can just lean back on him in his traditional relief role, but he will be called on to get critical outs, just whatever turns up, and he'll be a leading reliever. He may still be called on to pitch multiple innings if he doesn't make the starting rotation, like particularly. I mean, I think since obviously they're going to have to just get a program going for stretching him out one way or the other. So it's just at the very least he could turn into kind of a reliable multi-inning guy, but he's going to throw when the game is close, just one way or another here. And as to being the primary setup man for Camilo Doval, basically pitching the 8th inning, I think we would see him in the 8th inning a lot. And I think specific matchups and how Bob Melvin, just given kind of his expertise, I would imagine he'd be the guy that would be good at doing that with pitchers. That's just kind of my guess here, but that's probably it may take priority what you see that you can get on specific pitcher hitter matchups. Obviously there's the 3 batter minimum rule unless that goes away somehow, and it should have gone away in the last collective bargaining agreement, by the way. I just had to make that point right now, but that is definitely off topic. But I mean, I do definitely expect Jordan Hicks, if he can't be a starter, to be the primary 8th inning guy that we're going to see a lot in the 8th. So I hope that answers the question. I will say too that the Giants are rightly making the rotation a strong area of focus, and I mean they already missed out on a couple of pretty high profile international free agent pitchers in Shota Imanaga and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, which that is just not good at all. And the focus, it's rightly on their starting rotation. However, in Jordan Hicks' case, I don't think that they should sacrifice performance. I don't think they should sacrifice his ability to excel on the mound in one area just so that he can be a starter. And what that essentially means is that if he can clearly pitch better in relief, I don't know that I really buy this moving him to the rotation thing unless he can be a really above average starter, because the Giants should not, they probably really should not be sacrificing just the good performance he could demonstrate in a late inning back end of the bullpen relief role in return for him to be a starter. If he can't be as good, then they probably shouldn't be sacrificing that productivity, because it's just like, even having a full 5-man rotation, it would not be enough unless the Giants could get outs. That's what they'd be there for. So it's a 5-man rotation. It would not solve their problems on its own, and that is why they just can't. Their job's going to have to be to just get the maximum performance out of everybody. So if Hicks is clearly, if he's going to worsen by being moved to the rotation, and he would be clearly better in a late inning bullpen role, then I would much prefer to have him be the setup man for Camilo Doval. And maybe be ready to take over as the closer too, if Doval, say he struggles with his command again, or starts getting hit too hard, or if that's a necessity, and we would hope it wouldn't come to that, but I mean, I think Hicks could always be ready to take over as the closer. But we will see how it goes with him trying to start. That's what he wants to do. And obviously, we do realize that in terms of looking at numbers and just trying to answer the question, could he put up better numbers in a relief role? And like I said, I'm sticking to it. They shouldn't sacrifice the performance he could give in an eighth inning setup role, or a predominant role out of the bullpen, just to have him be a starter. But I mean, we do realize that statistics sometimes have to be adjusted for what you expect from relievers and from starters, because there are certain numbers that relievers just consistently, it's the norm for them to put up better numbers in certain areas, and it's probably for a variety of reasons, and including maybe the stamina and energy thing for starters, and the fact that they gotta save their energy. They can't necessarily like go all in on every hitter, so you obviously adjust certain stats for that, and that can be ERA and strikeout percentage as well, just some things, and probably too the fact that starters, they have to face lineups multiple times. So for those reasons, sometimes just you have to be able to weight everything and to adjust for what you expect from starters and relievers. But once all that is said and done, it's going to be where Hicks can be just the most productive based on the statistics we understand to be correct for whatever role. Because I wouldn't, right now, I wouldn't be an advocate for saying that the Giants necessarily found the starter they need in Hicks, because we're not going to know until we see him in the season. So he's going to have to be whatever role he's best. So yeah, so hopefully that answers the question, and just please correct me if I missed anything that needed to be discussed. And now I want to go basically on to the second one, which is essentially, after all the players that the Dodgers have signed, the strong team that they have built, are they now the, what would you call it? Are they now the big bad team in all of baseball? Basically, do they have a target on their back now? The Dodgers. I can't exactly think of the word here, but basically, are they going to be everybody's rival? The team everybody wants to beat? Are the Dodgers just on the top now and basically an enemy for everybody? They signed Shohei Ohtani. They signed Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and they did not stop there. They made some trades as well, and now they've just built up an incredibly good roster. And just for all practical purposes, obviously we hope surprises happen and stuff, but how could they possibly be stopped from winning the division for at least the next 5 years? For all practical purposes, I guess we got to see something impractical happen, because I'm just saying the talent level that this Dodgers team has, it is nobody's joke. So what does that mean essentially? Well, the Dodgers have been in the postseason for I don't know how long. I believe it was like since 2013 they have not missed the playoffs in any given year, and only in 2021 did they miss National League West division title, which what difference did it make? They beat the Giants in the division series anyway, for that matter. But the Dodgers just seem to have this history of surprising postseason defeats. it was certainly that way against the Diamondbacks and like in 2023, and Kershaw had a rough outing there. And then 2022 it was the Padres. It's always been some team. In 2020 they won the World Series, but just you think back over the other past few years, and you go back before that, and there have just been some surprising postseason defeats for the Dodgers. They would always just put up. They'd just be an opponent nobody would want to face in the postseason, and yet they have this history over the past decade of just getting kicked out of the postseason in some surprising ways. And what it really reminds you of is that anything can happen in baseball. And it does. It seems to every year to the Dodgers. And that is a good thing. It's sometimes they just don't have in the postseason exactly what they put up in the regular season in order to get there. And past couple of years they lost the division series when I don't think we could say it was really expected that they were going to. That is the Dodgers' history. But in 2024, with the team that they've built, I highly doubt that a single one, I highly doubt that a single one of the other 29 major league clubs possibly has it in their philosophy to presume on any of these postseason surprises to the Dodgers. And I don't think any one of the other 29 major league clubs could possibly be bold enough to presume on a postseason victory over the Dodgers, or even on a good chance of one, based on the history of they just always get kicked out somehow, and somebody stops those bad guys down in LA one way or another. This roster that they have now, it's just that's not going to be counted on very well anymore. And there's not, I can just about guarantee you, there's not one of the other 29 major league clubs that wouldn't consider defeating the Dodgers in the playoffs in 2024 a major, and I mean major with a capital M, accomplishment. Nothing's been weakened over the past couple of division losses for the Dodgers. Now, at the end of this offseason, there's nothing that's getting weaker about their prospects for 2024, and this whole history thing of getting kicked out of the postseason, it's not going to carry over into what anybody naturally expects in 2024, and I mean, honestly, who knows how much longer. So the question: Will the Dodgers are they gonna become that? Are they gonna become that big team? Are they gonna be that target? I mean, they always have been in the National League West just for a while, because they just stick on top of it like whatever, you know. And but now that's just going to, I mean, I think it always was all around baseball, but it's definitely going to just quickly expand beyond the National League West and everywhere. So there's not a team that wants to face this Dodgers team in the regular season, in the postseason, just at all. Like, that's, I'm not going to give a number to predict their win total, but they are one powerful team going into 2024, and stopping the Dodgers from winning the World Series in 2024 it's just going to be a lofty goal for any team. And the Giants, I will just say they don't, nothing sits in their favor. I mean, there's still some things they can do, and they are going to need to get serious about them, but that is where the Dodgers stand. So absolutely yes, like they are going to be the big team for a while, because not only did they get Shohei Ohtani, but Shohei Ohtani, evidently, he played his own role in recruiting other players. It's just you see how that magnet can just pull everything in. It can pull everybody into LA. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.